Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
Welcome to Shattering Myths, a program devoted to the largest segment of society. To those of you who have come to realize that all of the world's religious, political, economic, and media institutions are corrupt, and to those of you who are coming to realize that so are the world's militaries, that they are counterproductive and that they cannot be fixed. Our phone number, if you'd like to participate in this discussion anytime over the next 2 hours, including this first segment with my good friend IQ Al Rassooli, the author of Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam. It's toll-free 877-300-7645. IQ, you said something many years ago, well before I was willing to accept it as being a defining term for Islam, that you called it a crime syndicate. That it was founded as a crime syndicate, that it remains as a crime syndicate, and it's a crime syndicate masquerading as a religion. I've come to agree with you completely. Never had any issue with the evidence. It's just that I've never had any affinity, or at least I haven't in the last 15 years, for religion, so I didn't have any problem calling Islam a religion. But this is a unique religion in that it is genuinely a criminal enterprise. Could you share with us how you came to that conclusion and why you were so bold in proclaiming it?
To tell you the truth, it was only because of my study of the hadith of Ibn Ishaq. When Muhammad went to Medina, and in the first 16 months he was trying to ingratiate himself with the Judaized Arabs, and he wanted them to believe in him as Rasulullah, as the messenger of Allah. And of course they refused. They knew he was a charlatan. They knew he was a pathological liar.
And they knew, by the way, that Allah wasn't God, too.
Yes, exactly.
They wouldn't say Yahweh's name, but they knew it. And they knew it wasn't Allah.
Obviously, that's the whole point.
Yes.
They knew that Allah, the God of Muhammad, is not the same as the God of the Bible. There was no way on earth they would turn.
Right.
So when he turned against them, and before he turned against them, he turned against the Quraysh, his own tribe.
Right.
He used Medina as the center of operations. And it was so obvious. It was like literally so obvious. It was like a mafia. Exactly how the mafia worked, let's say, in Sicily. They used Sicily to dominate the area, a surrounding area. And how do they do it? By terrorizing people, by slaughtering people, by subjugating them, by raping them, always shaking them down. And that's exactly what he did. So I thought of an expression. I said Muhammad was the leader of the first organized crime syndicate in human history. And it stuck. I never deviated.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that I would differ on at all is that nothing Muhammad did was all that organized, but he certainly created a crime syndicate. And when you now review, my transition chapter in Prophet of Doom, as I presented Muhammad's life chronologically and set the Quran into the context of Muhammad's life and reordered chronologically, the transition chapter between Mecca and Medina is pedophile pirate. He was a land pirate. He literally based his entire existence, his entire reason for existing was to rob those who wouldn't submit to him and to reward those who would fight on his behalf as terrorists, as criminals, as a mafia, really, raiding and robbing and raping his foes. It really is obvious.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is the remarkable thing about Islam. The moment somebody with an open mind, you don't have to be a genius, reading Ibn Ishaq alone to start with.
Right.
All you have to do is read Ibn Ishaq, and everything is open. Everything, every disgusting human characteristic that you can possibly imagine resided in Muhammad.
Correct. Yeah, for me, it was the realization that Muhammad's first act, as he fled Mecca in shame, and he fled Mecca in shame on his own fault. I mean, the Meccans realized he was a fraud, that he was only in it for sex, power, and money. They offered him sex, power, and money so long as he would incorporate more of the Kaabas, which was their meal tickets, gods, into his religion, since he was at the time touting Ar-Rahman, which was a Yemenite rock deity. And they said, if you will incorporate those, our Kaaba rock gods into your religion, we'll give you exactly what you want, sex, power, and money. And Muhammad did. There's Quran statements attributing deity to 3 of the Kaaba's goddesses. And then Muhammad acknowledged that all of Allah's messengers speak on behalf of Satan. It's called the Satanic Verses. And following that, he was made to be a laughingstock. And he immediately said, well, to counter that, he had his imaginary ride to Jerusalem, where he claimed he flew on a winged ass to Jerusalem during the night and met with all of the Hebrew bigwigs, the prophets, in the temple. No one told the idiot that the temple had been destroyed many centuries previously, but he wasn't very smart. And following that, he fled Mecca in shame. And the first meeting that he has after he flees Mecca in shame, and absolute shame, was at Aqaba, right? And what was the Pledge of Aqaba?
Well, the Pledge of Aqaba was to 2 tribes, which were pagan tribes in Medina.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He told them, if you fight on my behalf,
mm-hmm.
you die on my behalf,
mm-hmm.
you have 2 rewards. If you survive the fighting, you can have the women and plunder, share of the women and the plunder, to rape them, to enslave them, to sell them, to buy them, to do what the hell you like with them.
Right, share.
And if you die, I promise you'll end up in my whorehouse version of paradise.
Right. And by the way, the share was because Muhammad wanted 20% of whatever they stole.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
It's called the Pledge of Aqaba, and they indeed pledged to wage war against all mankind, correct?
Correct, 100%. Even some of the people of the tribes in Arabia, 1 or 2 of the men, they told their followers, they said, do you know what you have done in this pledge? You have declared war against every human being.
Yeah.
That was 1,400 years ago. They knew that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the person that said that, Muhammad had killed.
Later on, he killed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the things that is interesting, by the way, about this criminal enterprise is it's touted by Muslims that Muhammad was the epitome of leaders. He was a great political leader, a great religious leader, and a great military leader, and that he fought wars against armies that were trying to wipe out his monotheistic religion. And like the Pledge of Aqaba, we pledge to wage war against all humankind. None of that's really true. The concept of war and Muhammad and being a general and fighting an army, it never occurred, did it?
Never. In 75 wars or so-called wars conducted on his behalf, some of them he led, some of them he didn't. Most of them he didn't. There were ambushes. They were against civilians. It was always against people who were unarmed or slightly armed, who were unaware they're going to be attacked and slaughtered.
Right.
He never fought a proper army, ever.
Ever. I mean, it was always civilians. 100% of his battles. And by the way, the ones that he didn't lead, he ordered, he inspired.
Correct.
He directed. Yes. He just was too weaselly to go out himself. I mean, he was a man who was paranoid, absolutely afraid of every possible thing, including demonic spells, that anything. I mean, if you picked up 4 rocks instead of 3 rocks, I mean, he'd have a panic attack.
That's true. He used to believe, and it's in the records, by the way, he said, I used to think that I was having sex with all my wives, and I didn't have any sex with all my wives. I mean, this is in the records of Islam.
Yeah, of course. No, he his hallucinating and his paranoia are very evident throughout his writing, and the fact that he was an absolute idiot. In fact, a friend wrote me this morning, was rereading Prophet of Doom, and was wondering how it is that the world does not know how stupid Muhammad's statements were. I mean, making mankind out of congealed blood, making mankind out of stinking slime, the fact that we're different colors on our skin because Allah chose stinking slime from different places in the world, and it was either black, red, or yellow. I mean, the gestation period for humankind being 6 months or 5 months instead of 9 months. I mean, he had the sun going to bed every night, and it actually going to bed in a swamp. And then he has Alexander the Great going to witness to extraterrestrials as a Muslim. I mean, the man was so stupid that you just have to wonder how in the world did a religion emerge out of such idiocy?
Well, because the people he was dealing with, we've got to remember this.
Yes.
The Arabs at the time of Muhammad were among the most illiterate, superstitious, unlearned people on the planet. They were.
Right.
So once
they had to be illiterate because, by the way, was there even a written version of Arabic at the time that Muhammad was allegedly revealing his Quran?
No. That's why the Quran was written 2 years after he was dead. The first version of the Quran was written 2 years after he was dead.
Although the oldest extant version of the Quran dates to the 8th century.
Correct.
And the earliest extant version of the Quran, which was found in in an attic above a mosque in Yemen. Gerd Pruden was the German who was photographing it, translating it, trying to be the curator of it, and he was run out of town, threatened with his life because his research showed that there's very little correlation between the oldest copy of the Quran, which is about 100 years after Muhammad's death, and the modern versions of the Quran, which they claim are perfect.
Exactly. It's called the Sana'a manuscripts.
Yes.
He spent quite a long time deciphering them and found 1,700 differences between what the Quran manuscript in Sana'a had with what we have today. 1,700 differences. That's a joke. That's not a small number of items.
Yeah, and when you deal with the Christian New Testament, there are 300,000 known variances between the manuscripts that are used as the basis of translations today and the oldest manuscripts. But in that case, there are some 70 manuscripts of the so-called Christian New Testament dating to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and early 4th century to compare the modern manuscripts to. In the case of Islam, there's only one.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Quantitative easing, unemployment at depression levels, Europe financial system falling apart, China getting out of U.S. treasuries. At the end of 2008, the time of TARP, the national debt was at $11 trillion, gold trading around $850 per ounce. Close to 2012, the national debt exceeded $16.4 trillion, gold doubled to $1,600 per ounce. The $20 trillion threshold for the national debt is inevitable. Politicians in Washington have a ferocious appetite for spending and stimulus. What's worse, a printing press to finance. 100 years ago, we had a gold standard to limit this madness, but now you have to adopt your own gold standard. Don't be fooled with paper promises. Get Midas Resources 10 Reasons to Buy Gold free by calling 800-686-2237. Understanding the gold and silver market may be the only insurance you could have to avoiding the next economic crisis. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order your free copy. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
Yeah?
Did you want to see me, sir?
Well, I did, but now that I do, I'm not so sure.
Sir?
Johnson, I got a mission for you that could change your life.
Oh, good, sir.
It involves traveling halfway around the world without so much as half a clue of where you're going or what you're going to do when you get there.
Situation normal, sir?
Uh-huh. But I'll be leading this mission, Johnson, so I'll be telling you what to do.
You, sir?
That's right, Johnson, and I say first things first.
Oh, good plan, sir.
And what I say is first is food. Always remember that, Johnson. Food is a big deal.
Sir, my brother-in-law can get us a really good deal on some surplus MREs.
Johnson, if you've got half a brain and that empty head of yours, you'll call the freeze-dry guy like I did. That food is better for you, it rehydrates faster, and it's good, Johnson. And it keeps for up to 30 years.
Will we be gone that long, sir?
I hope not. Now get your supplies organized and meet me down to the pier at dawn on Sunday. We sail at sunrise.
Yes, sir.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze-Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
On Facebook, on the news, and in conversations with friends, we're bombarded every day with advice on how to be healthier, from gluten-free and non-GMO diets to how much exercise and sleep the body needs. But how much have you heard about alkalizing the body? AlkaVision Plasma pH drops are a holistic and natural way to get your body's pH levels back in balance. Just a few drops in water will help your body rid itself of harmful waste. And even the healthiest of diets can be complemented with your daily use of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops. Who isn't looking for more vibrance, vigor, and energy? Now buy 2 bottles of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops and get $10 off your order. Visit alkavision.com or call 800-518-7615. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops are packed with a powerful combination of the most alkaline minerals and compounds. Open the door to greater health, vitality, and zest for life. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health. Call 800-518-7615 or head to alkavision.com.
Welcome back to Shattering Myths. IQ, your realization that Islam is a crime syndicate operating and masquerading as a religion is not only irrefutable. I mean, it really is irrefutable. I mean, all you have to do is look at what was Muhammad's first official act in Medina to yesterday's Yathrib. What did he do to keep his religion alive and funded?
Ambush people to start with.
Yeah, Badar.
Ambush, always ambush.
Right, Badar. Badar was the first. The 8th surah of the Quran is written specifically to justify Muhammad's murderous, immoral act of being of not only engaging in armed robbery, but also in torture and mass murder.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, what's interesting about it, in kidnapping for ransom, what's interesting about it is not only does it legalize stealing and says in Islam stealing is lawful and good, it actually says that that one of Allah's messengers can't kidnap until he has committed an act of mass murder.
Yes.
It's in the 8th surah that one of Allah's messengers cannot kidnap people for ransom, because there were rules in Arabia, in pagan Arabian society, about kidnap and about ransom and about the time that you could do it under the conditions. And Muhammad ran afoul of pagan Arab morality. So the 8th surah was there. So, so long as you commit mass murder first, then, and by the way, it speaks of savage mass murder, then you can kidnap all you want.
Correct. He invented the Quran as he went along.
For the express purpose of satiating his own covetousness for sex and power and money.
Correct.
And nothing more.
Made to order revelations. Every single verse in the Quran was made to order. In fact, this is remarkable. Al-Suyuti, in his book Asbab al-Nuzul, that means to explain each one of the revelations. Literally, Allah brought a revelation to suit the situation for Muhammad.
Correct.
In every single instance that I've studied over the period of the 23 years or 20 years that he had revelations.
Right. For example, and there was one time that his wives, and wives is really a wrong term because he had a harem full of sex slaves, those that he had captured and therefore was raping because they were slaves, little children, which was acts of pedophilia, his adoptive son's wife, which is an act of incest. So to call them wives is way too kind. But he was getting feedback, and so he actually has a Quran surah that specifically addresses his wives and tell them, you either shut up or you're as good as gone. He's free to use you any way he wants to.
Isn't it remarkable? Aisha, his child bride, said to him in one of the instances when he was threatening the women,
yes.
She said, I find that your Allah is always at your beck and call. 1,400 years ago, a teenager came to the right conclusion. A teenager.
Of course. Of course she did. And she was 6 years old when Muhammad started molesting her sexually. He was 50.
And 9 when he raped her.
Yes. Well, if you believe the hadith account that when her father, Abu Bakr, and mother cleaned her up from playing with her dolls and playing out with her toys, and then threw her into a bed with Muhammad and closed the door when she was 6 and he was 50. If you want to believe that he just fiddled with her then and held off raping her for 3 years, then that is certainly what the hadith says. I don't believe it for a second.
But that's, whether or not we believe it, it's still, he tied her when she was 6.
Right.
And he raped her when she was 9.
Yeah, he had sexual relations with her. With Bill Clinton, what it is, when she was 6 years old and he was 50. And he admits to having sex with her when she was 9 and he was 53.
Correct.
Yeah, it's pedophilia, no matter how you look at it.
But it's all perverted. In the hadith.
Right.
We didn't invent it. You didn't write it. The Zionists didn't write it.
Right.
The Muslims wrote it. His own companions wrote it.
Now, the beauty of your conclusion that Islam, and your conclusion, by the way, is irrefutable. It is absolutely ironclad, irrefutable, undeniable that Islam is an organized crime syndicate, has implications today on how it's dealt with. And that's what I'd like to explore when Shattering Myths continues after the commercial break.
Worried about getting sick and feeling terrible for days or even weeks? You need Immudyne for a healthy immune system. Why get sick and bother with products that just don't work? For just $1 a day, Immudyne is all natural and safe for all lifestyles. Call 866-257-8668 to buy now before it's too late, before you get sick. Or go to IMMUDYNE.com, Immudyne.com, or call 866-257-8668.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Are you always 5 minutes late? Maybe you're only late when you don't want to be somewhere. Then you realize you're always 5 minutes late. For work, you set 3 alarms, drag your feet in the shower, drink your coffee slowly until you're rushing out the door. 5 minutes late. It's not that you hate your job. Hate is such a strong word. You're just not that excited about it. But most people don't love what they do, right? Listen, if you're local to the Twin Cities, are hardworking, self-driven with experience in sales, marketing, or advertising, are personable, and a whiz on the phone, you might want to join one of the largest independent talk radio networks in the world, GCN. Because right now, we are hiring, and we offer benefits. Experience preferred, but we'll train the right person. Is that you? Submit your resume today to advertise@gcnlive.com. That's advertise@gcnlive.com. Come work with the Genesis Communications Network, where you'll want to be 5 minutes early every day.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates, 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Welcome back to Shattering Myths. We're having a conversation with IQ Al Rassooli, the world's foremost expert on the religion of Islam, or as he would define it accurately, as an organized crime syndicate. Recognizing that Islam was conceived as a crime syndicate, Battle of Badr, 8th surah of the Quran, absolute proof, absolute unequivocal proof that Islam was founded as a crime syndicate. And the 74 terrorist raids, which were armed raids against Arabs and Jews, subsequent to that, also proved that Islam, during Muhammad's life, remained an organized crime syndicate. But in the first 100 years after Muhammad's death, did anything change? For those that would say it's unfair to summarize Islam under things that just happened during these 10 to 12 years, and the religion has grown and evolved. Are we being unfair to label Islam based upon its first 10 years under Muhammad?
Never. Because for the next 100 years, it was a repeat performance on a grander scale. And then instead of slaughtering 1,000 people, tens of millions of people were slaughtered.
Yeah. Perhaps even hundreds of millions.
Yeah, I didn't want to exaggerate.
Yeah. But we really don't know the number because the Muslims were illiterate and they didn't write the history down, and they killed the people that were literate and could have written it down.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly
we don't know. The best estimates are between 200 and 300 million people that were murdered in the first 100 years of Islam. But not only was it mass murder, though, what was the primary purpose of the murderous rage? Was it to spread the religion? Was it to gain more territory for Islam? Or was there another primary motivation for the first 100 years and what happened after Muhammad's death?
Plunder.
Yeah. Single word.
Al-Anfal, chapter 8. Plunder, plunder,
right.
plunder.
Right. In fact, it was all based on the 8th surah. It was an extension of the 8th surah.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Chapter 8.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's places like Fez, Morocco, where today you look at a Shriner and they're wearing that blood red fez. The fez is blood red because even as far away as northwest Africa, the Muslims were so murderous that the streets became rivers of blood, and the Muslims would dip their turbans and their hats into the blood to show how savage they were. The best killer was the most heroic individual.
Yes. Unfortunately, Muhammad gave the example. He was a coward, 100% certified coward. I have it in my own chapters. I mean, as a chapter, Muhammad the coward. And I prove it.
Yes.
All of them are cowards. Look what they're doing all around the world.
Right.
They attack women and children. They attack civilian aircraft. They attack people in cars. Every single time they attack a civilian, when they go to war, they lost the war 5 times with Israel.
Right.
3 times Pakistan lost the war with India.
Right.
In a confrontation between armed forces, we wipe them out every single bloody time.
Right. The only place where they could say that they had some success over an army wasn't really an army. And that was during the Crusades, where knights went, and these were just wealthy individuals who wanted to go on a junket, and wealthy individuals fighting the Muslims under compulsion, won some battles and lost some battles, but both sides were, at that point, were armed, but the Crusaders were not a army in the traditional sense.
Correct. They were not
that would be
an army. They were a rebel, a group of rebel. They were collected from all over Europe. Correct. They were, civilians who joined the melee. It wasn't an armed, self-sustaining army.
Mostly wealthy civilians,
trying
to make a heroic name for themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They were civilians.
Right. So when Islam continues to this day to be extraordinarily braggadocious, arrogant, and, we're going to wipe you out. I mean, I've had 1,000 death threats. It's extraordinarily braggadocious in their attitude and rage, but yet complete and utter cowards. Muhammad never attacked anyone that could fight back, ever. And he was especially good at killing unarmed individuals, raping women, and enslaving children.
That's it. That was his forte throughout his life for 20-odd years, especially the last 10 years in Medina, where he became the aggressive one. I mean, all he did was plunder, rape, murder, and enslave. Nothing else. There was nothing else done.
Well, surely, since he's called a prophet, he must have done something worthwhile. What did he do that could be considered worthwhile?
Well, I asked Muslims, tell me, why do you call him a prophet?
Yeah.
Since he never prophesied anything, and the Quran says that he, Muhammad, cannot ever see the unseen. He's only a warner. He's only a messenger from Allah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So where is the prophecy part? Yeah. I get a blank.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me then, what did Muhammad say that advanced human understanding?
In fact, he regressed human understanding.
Of course.
How could
Absolutely. What is there in the Quran that is moral?
None. Zero.
Well, there's one line in the Quran that if you take it out of context, and if you don't recognize that it was plagiarized from the Babylonian Talmud, if you kill one person, it's as if you killed all mankind.
As we said, that doesn't belong to the Quran.
But it doesn't belong to the Quran. It's plagiarized from the Babylonian Talmud, and it's followed by Quran 533, which is, if anybody undermines or contradicts Islam in any way, kill them, cut off an arm and a leg on opposite sides, crucify them. So, you'd have to take it out of context and ignore the fact that it was plagiarized.
Yeah, but that wasn't only plagiarized. If you read the verse completely, it says, Allah mandated upon the tribe of Israel.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Quran 532.
Remarkable. It doesn't say about the Arabs. Doesn't say about Muhammad. Doesn't say anything about
it's interesting that he correctly attributed it to its source.
Absolutely.
And yet all of these politically correct morons that have television shows that, are speeches, politicians, they always quote it out of context, and they don't say that it was for Jews, and that the verse that follows is the most vicious in any religious material ever uttered.
Yeah, it's remarkable. Every single imam, every single scholar of Islam, when they're quoting that verse, they truncate it. The part that says Allah mandated upon the people of Israel, they take it out.
Right. And they never cite what comes after it.
No. This is Islam. Deception. Taqiyya, deception. Muhammad said, war is deception.
Now, I'm going to take issue with you, IQ. When you call Islam an international crime syndicate, you would the world thinks immediately of the mafia, and how the mafia is so evil, so reprehensible. They deal in drugs and they deal in gambling, and they kill anyone who opposes them, that sort of thing. But that's really unfair to the mafia.
I agree.
Because the mafia doesn't engage in pedophilia, do they?
No.
They don't engage in rape, do they?
No, neither in mass murder.
No.
They only kill when it's justifiable as far as they're concerned. Never in mass murder.
No. And the mafia doesn't engage in the sex trade where they kidnap little girls and sell little girls to be sex slaves.
No.
Does the mafia mutilate the genitals of their daughters?
No. Muslims do that.
Yeah. And so to compare Islam to the mafia is unfair to the mafia.
I agree. I apologize.
I'm not telling you to apologize. I just want people to realize that when you're calling it an organized crime syndicate, and if they go to, it's unfair to call the religion, to equate it with something like the mafia. It is unfair to equate it with something like the mafia because Islam is vastly worse than the mafia.
Yes. In fact, there is no comparison. Honestly, there's no comparison.
Is there any country in the world where the mafia is considered legal?
Say it again, sorry.
Is there any country in the world where organized crime, like the mafia, is considered legal, appropriate, good?
No, only in Islam.
So your recognition of the indisputable fact that Islam is an organized crime syndicate should cause all enlightened, moral people to oppose it, to condemn it, to outlaw it.
100%.
And that's the genius of your conclusion.
It's not really a genius. You came to the same conclusion and a different point of view. But the conclusion is the same. They are a criminal organization. Islam is a crime against humanity. Full stop.
We came to the obvious conclusion that Muhammad created Islam and the Quran to justify his own personal quest for sex, power, and money, and that he was an immoral, mass-murdering, terrorizing criminal, and that Islam was born as a crime syndicate. We came to that same conclusion. But stating it that as emphatically as you have leads to the only rational conclusion. You know, cause and consequence. You've got a cause. The cause is a crime syndicate. Murders little girls, enslaves children, decapitates people. It's a mass murdering, intolerant crime syndicate. Just like the mafia, if you want to leave it, they kill you. Quran itself says if a Muslim wants to leave Islam, kill them. And it also says that if a Muslim doesn't want to engage in jihad, that they cease to be a Muslim. Right? They cease to be a Muslim. Kill him because they've ceased to be a Muslim. That being the case, then there's only one rational response, only one moral response. That is to outlaw Islam, to declare it illegal, to go after it, to shut it down. Right.
Yeah, everywhere.
Right. And in a country like Saudi Arabia that is all Islamic, we don't have the right to impose our will on Saudi Arabia, but we sure as hell can stop doing business with them. We sure as hell can say we have no moral justification for selling them weapons or doing business with them.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Hi, this is Larry Smith. Sometimes bad things happen to good people, like when the jeweler ruined my ring and wouldn't do anything about it. But when my Legal Shield attorney called him and told him what my rights were, I received a check for over $2,100. Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com, or call 855-340-SAVE. Again, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Are you hungry for delicious, nutritious, rich, and satisfying home-cooked meals? Discover the Vita Clay 4-in-1 Smart Organic Cooker. Unglazed Zisha Clay, an ancient secret that makes this fast multi-cooker so special. Infusing your food with incredible flavors, perfect texture, vitamins, and minerals for your good health. It's a slow cooker, rice cooker, a steamer, plus a yogurt maker. Go to VitaClayChef.com and enter promo code RADIO20 for 20% off at checkout. That's VitaClayChef.com.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Hey, guess what? They've got some great deals for Valentine's Day at Guns80.com. They're calling it the Sweetheart Special. Guns80.com has lowered the price way down to $400 up until Valentine's Day. Order your Ghost AR-15 now. Tell your sweetheart that this is the right gift at the right time. Buy one for yourself. Buy one for your sweetheart, too. Your sweetheart will thank you for being so tuned into his or her needs. Get a brand new Ghost AR-15 right now for $400. Heck, buy two. His and hers. Go to Guns80.com or call and ask for the Sweetheart Deal. Love is in the air at Guns80.com. Call now, 844-2GUNS80. That's 844-248-6780. It's a sweetheart of a deal. Actually, it's a steal at $400, so call Guns80.com at 844-2GUNS80. But hurry, supplies are limited. Call 844-2GUNS80 or get your Ghost AR-15 today at Guns80.com on the web.
Conversation with IQ Al Rassooli. IQ, when you come to realize what Islam is, then you realize that the United States and Europe are actually engaging in criminal activity. If you and I were to aid and abet an organized crime syndicate, would we be convicted and deprived of our finances and our freedom?
Of course, yes, under the law.
So if we supplied guns to organized crime, and whether it be in Europe or in the United States, we would be penalized for that, wouldn't we? Held accountable.
We would be, yes.
Yeah. So why is it that the United States government and European countries sell weapons of mass destruction to the Saudi Arabians, to the Kuwaitis, to Qatar, to Turkey?
Because they made themselves vulnerable to oil. And they shouldn't have.
Correct. We're doing business with them. So we're engaging in business with an organized crime syndicate, and we're supplying their weapons. You know, if the United States and Europe weren't buying Saudi Arabian oil, and they weren't doing business with Islamic countries, would we witness the kind of terrorism we're seeing around the world?
No chance.
Would there be the kind of mass murder that we're witnessing in Syria and Iraq?
No, because they wouldn't have the weaponry to use them.
Correct. The world would be in a very difficult. Would the Iranians be able to develop nuclear weapons if we weren't buying their oil?
But they are, even without buying their oil. They are doing it now as we speak.
Yeah. Well,
Obama is allowing it.
Well, and beyond that, nations like Japan and Russia are buying their oil, and many other countries are as well. So they're having no problem selling their oil. And without the oil, there's no funding for those very expensive programs.
True.
So we're manufacturing, we're arming and equipping the crime syndicate, and then somehow surprised when they kill.
No, we're surprised when they kill us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Not when they kill.
Well, we're even surprised when they kill one another. They're even surprised. There's no understanding of why the Islamic State is killing so many Muslims in Iraq, and why the Sunnis and Shias are at war with each other. I don't think there's anybody in the West that seems to have a clue as to why they kill each other.
I agree with you. Very few of them will have two brain cells to understand this. Really, very difficult. I mean, if our leaders are in denial, forget about the Shia and Sunni. Not the elephant. The monster is filling up the room, and they say, no, nothing to do with the monster. Yeah. This is not Islam. Islam is peaceful. Yeah. Islam does not incite people to kill. When every single verse in the Quran incites Muslims to kill.
Right.
So, there we go, unfortunately.
Yeah. But, you know, I had always focused on maybe too much on terrorism, since terrorism is the most malignant aspect of mankind's behavior today, the most caustic aspect of mankind's behavior today. I always focused on Islam's propensity to inspire terrorism, and in fact that Muhammad said, I've become victorious with terror. The Quran, Allah and Muhammad both claim to be terrorists, and they justify the use of terror, and that 99% of the world's terrorist attacks are perpetrated by Muslims. But, you know, that's really not the right way to approach this. The right way to approach it is not to say that the religion inspires terror, but to say this is an organized crime syndicate masquerading as a religion, and deal with it as you have so brilliantly established it. That's the way to frame the issue.
But we can do that. Who's listening?
Yeah, I know.
It is an organized crime syndicate.
Yes.
We know, they know. In fact, our leaders, they know, but they don't know how to handle it. They honestly, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind, they know how dangerous Islam is. But they don't know how to handle the 47 million Muslims in Europe, for example, or the 3 or 4 million Muslims in America. Well, there is a way, as we just discussed. If it's that, since it is a crime syndicate, then the way to deal with it is exactly what you deal with a crime syndicate.
Right.
You close the mosques.
Right.
You close the madrasas. Right. No hijab, no niqab, no sharia, no importation of Muslims. Any Muslim who's not yet a citizen, back to his country. Very simple.
Yes.
And then
in those countries, you stop doing business with them. Stop playing with the arms. So you shut down everything that is Islamic in those countries. You can't have Qurans. You can't have a mosque. You can't have an Islamic institution. They're all declared illegal because they represent the crime syndicate. Terrorism is resolved. The problem of Islam is resolved. They could only kill each other with sticks and stones.
Mom, I can't do my math homework. I just don't get it. I hate math.
I've always tried to be a good mother, but when it came to Jamie's math, I was at a loss. Then a friend told me about Math Made Easy DVDs. Concepts are simplified in an easy way to follow and review, and students can learn at their own pace in the convenience of home. Listen, in the frustration, call Math Made Easy. Call now, 1-800-USA-MATH. That's 1-800-872-6284. Or visit us at mathmadeeasy.com.
We love that you're passionate about GCN. And whether you're a listener, a business owner, or a radio industry professional, we've redesigned the new GCN newsletter to keep you in the know. Get updates on your favorite GCN shows and hosts. Go to GCNlive.com and click on the banner in the upper left corner. Just for signing up, you're automatically entered for monthly giveaways. Start receiving your newsletter today. The future of talk radio. GCN.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE. 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.